Good morning, everyone. Once again, welcome to the Career Success Show with Adrian and Yen. My name is Adrian, and I'm the CEO and founder of Career Agility International. And Yen's our super coach and executive director and co-founder. And she has so many titles. She's almost reminding me of Daenerys Stormborn with all the titles that we want to give her. How are you doing today?
I think the Game of Thrones reference is outdated, and all the titles is because you are using them, not me. But good morning, everyone. It's nice to be here again. It's Friday, and I hope you had a good week. How was your week? I only saw you because you were busy.
Yeah, this week was crazy busy for me, for us actually. So lots of radio appearances this week, and and I have guests in town as well. My Aussie tribe and relatives and cousins are all in town for another cousin's wedding. So eating a lot, drinking a lot, partying a lot, but still having to carve out time for work, which is fun. And
priorities, I can hear it. The priority is to have fun and then carve out time for work.
Carve out time for work. And that's what I call not work-life balance, but life-work balance. Okay,
I agree.
So for those of you who just joined us, our Career Agility is an organization that Yen and I founded back in 2018, and we help individuals like yourself to achieve career clarity so that you can enjoy your career and your lives. And Yen, we always talk about careers, and if you're not careful, it takes way too much of your.
Okay, I'm not hearing you, Adrian. I think there's some technical delay. It was just a short one,
so I think,
but
I hope it sorts itself out as well.
Yeah.
But anyway,
yes, I think you're back.
I hope it's not one of those. I hope this is not one of those Friday morning glitches, or when everyone decides to watch Netflix at the same time in my estate. So anyway, hope it's coming across clearly.
It is coming in and out, and it's slightly spotty, but I hope it's okay. So you were saying, yes, we talk about careers all the time, but
and a lot of times, if you're not careful, we end up talking about careers all the time. So you got to be mindful about that.
Yeah.
But anyway,
all right.
Technical check. Technical check now.
Quite clear. Yes.
Okay,
Val
that
says
is
you're okay.
fantastic.
So
okay, I love you, Val.
good.
Thanks. Val's our big voice in the sky. Yeah, she tells us what to do. Oh yes, Val. Okay, anyway. Today we are talking about some interesting thing today. And it's quite funny because today's topic is about what do you do when you're feeling underpaid. And all this stems from a very interesting article that came out this week. Okay.
Yeah, I saw that, and I saw the headline. I didn't read the entire article, but I saw the headline and I laughed it off because I thought it was just clickbait. But you read the article. Can you give us a quick summary?
So there was an IBM staffer. IBM staffer who was diagnosed with leukemia, unfortunately and sadly so, back in 2008. And as part of the contract, they agreed to pay him 75% of his last drawn salary as at 2008, until he passed on or until he's at age 62. So
that's very generous.
That's very generous, isn't it? I mean, as a Google gesture, that's amazing,
Yeah.
But as time went on, he managed to fight the disease, and 15 years on, he decided that, hey, thanks for that 75%, but hey, I never got an increase on my base over the years, even though I was on medical leave and not doing anything.
Wait, so the article doesn't say if he's still on medical leave or has still on
He's still on medical leave. He's still on medical leave, which one would assume he's still struggling with the disease.
Right.
Or maybe it's remission, but he's on medical leave, but he's asking for a raise.
Okay.
But if you look at it, it's not okay. It's fair and unfair. It's not fair because it's not working, but it's the cost of living has gone up and everything. And I have suspect that the company is probably paying for his medical fees as well. If you think about it, if you're on payroll, which means technically you're still there, so he might be asking a bit.
He's probably got insurance coverage and a whole bunch of other benefits as well.
By the company, right? So actually, it's quite generous, but
it's very generous.
But as much as you laugh and joke about not his situation, but poor HR having to handle this, it
Yeah,
is funny for HR to how do you handle this without coming across sounding really evil, like Dilbert's evil
yeah,
HR director, right?
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
it's something which and that's why we wanted to talk about, because he was feeling a bit underpaid, even though he was being feeling underpaid for doing nothing.
Well, he is fighting a disease.
Or he did nothing
Uh,
for the company per se.
but
Right?
exactly. So this is a tough one. I don't envy all the parties involved, and I feel very sorry for him. But
Yeah.
the headline was very clickbaity.
It
But
was,
the judge
wasn't.
did vote. The judge made a ruling,
Mm-hmm.
not in his favor.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he threw out the case. So which comes to our topic today, which is about what do you do if you're feeling underpaid, and how do you know whether you're underpaid? And I want to share a story with yourself, and I'll share a
Yeah.
story with all our listeners out there. Okay, very very funny
Yes.
story. It's ridiculous. Okay,
It's a
so
confession.
it's a confession. Okay, it's a confession. Talking about finding out whether you're underpaid or finding out someone else's salary in your company, and you're finding out that someone's paid more than you. Okay, so when I first started out my first job in Shell, I was a wee little fresh graduate under their graduate development program. So the money was pretty decent at the time, because oil and gas, right? Those days they paid so well. But
It
it was so funny because and in those days, sorry, young boys and girls, those days we had mails coming in into pigeonholes.
Yeah.
Do you remember pigeonholes, Ian?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had them too.
So
Yes.
our
And
pace,
that's where they
our
put
pace,
payslips and all your mail.
our pace is right there, and the mail guy put my boss's pay slip into mine by mistake. Okay. So what happened is that I took it out, I ripped it apart, I tore it really unceremoniously right down the middle. And I look, wow, bonus, so much money. Okay. So, wow, I thought, wow, oh shucks, it's not mine, it's my boss's pay slip. Okay. And and what do you do? Okay, do you like go to him, sorry boss, I opened up your pay slip by mistake. Here it is, and it's torn. And I didn't want to do that because it was just too much explanation. So I did.
No, what do you
I
do?
threw it, I threw it away because I threw it away. I shredded it. I never shred it. Because if you shred it, it's in the shredder and they find that, right? So I literally put it in my bag. I threw it away the first thing I got. Okay, and I felt
Wow.
terrible. And then
Does
and then
this does this boss now know?
no, he's retired by now. So, but no, he knew because he was cursing and swearing. Where's my payslip? This month I didn't get my payslip. But I hope the money went in anyway. But it was funny for me because when I opened up the money and I looked at it and I went, "Wow, bonus! This is like
Yeah,
your Monopoly, bank error. Collect $200 in your favor kind of chance card that you get."
that's
But
funny.
but it was so funny. It has happened before to people I know, where I know a certain someone who accidentally submitted her rates to
Yes.
the operations manager.
Yes, that was an
And,
accident to the
and
whole team, and they saw it because
the
I.
whole team, when they saw your rates, someone at a certain someone at a
created
certain previous company.
it created some discontent in certain people. It was an accident, but a lot of these accidents do happen, isn't it? When you accidentally email something that's really confidential,
Yeah.
or when manual error takes place and someone else's payslip turns
Yeah.
up in your inbox. Can you
Especially when
imagine? I mean,
you're paid more than everyone else, and suddenly everyone's like, "Hey, whoa, 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 whoa!"
That
Life's not
was
fair.
funny. And by the way, yeah, okay, to all the listeners out there, that was me, and I apologize again once and for all for that mistake. It's a human, and it happens.
Yeah, but seeing
Um,
your salary, your rates to everyone else, being better paid than everyone else. Oh, that was embarrassing, I'm sure.
that was funny. No, it
Uh,
wasn't. It
but
wasn't. I'm
anyway,
sure. I'm sure when certain other people, and we know who lah, right? And they saw it, they would be very upset. Because their rates were not the same, and it's the same. And I was looking through our other chat group, and there's a lot of stories there as well about individuals who have proof that they are paid less than perhaps their counterparts from other teams, and they're all wondering what they should be doing about it. So I think today's topic is very appropriate and very apt and very timely.
Yeah. So what's the first thing you do if you feel that you're underpaid?
That's
What
a
do you
huge
think?
one, because can you imagine when you open up someone else's, at first you open up and you think it's yours and you're going like, whoa, I got a raise. And then you take you double look and you go, hang on, the next thing that happens is going to trigger some sort of a fight and fight response, right? You're going to feel
Yeah.
really unhappy, and then all these emotions are going to wash all over you, and you're going to go like, why so unfair? And then you're probably going to go through
What a roller coaster of emotions.
you're
It's like,
going to go through
yay!
like what are the four major emotions of grief, right? You go like,
The
hang
five,
on, shock and surprise, and then
the Kubler-Ross five stages of grief model.
anger, and then it'll take you I don't know, weeks and
And
weeks
then
to reach
acceptance.
acceptance.
It's so funny, right? But one of the things, especially the big question, the topic for today is what to do when you're feeling underpaid. And there are, once again, it's emotional. That's what I always say.
Yeah,
It's salary is
yes,
emotional, and it's not. Oftentimes, it may not be about the quantum of the work of the money that you're getting, but is it respectful for the amount of work you're putting in?
yeah, and I think the term for that is equity, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
it
it's
is.
not it's not about fairness per se, but it's about, hang on, it has to commensurate with
Mhm.
the value and the effort that you do put in, and how on earth would that other person be getting more for what is
Yeah,
perceived.
yeah,
Again, there's this very important thing here: what is potentially perceived on your end,
yeah,
that they're not doing as much as you, but
yeah.
because we don't know what else they're doing.
Yes.
Maybe
And
they've got some special projects.
or it could also be that your company is underpaying everybody, and so everyone's equally miserable. Uh, but it's then it's the boss's issue, it's HR issue. But from our experience, and I was sharing this on air yesterday on radio, the people who get paid oftentimes the people who are most underpaid are those loyal workers. If you're in a company for a very very long time, do you get the experience as well? Again, when you were headhunting.
Uh, this is my opinion. In terms of a salary curve, if you plot your earnings from the day you graduated until today, in terms of all its increments and everything, there should be an S curve with a gradual gradient, and then there's at some point a steeper acceleration. So the gradient would be a little bit steeper, and then you reach a stage where you kind of plateau. And so increments
Mhm.
will be gradually less and less. Not to say there are no increments, but in a smaller quantum. I found, right, that for individuals, this is anecdotal, don't quote me, but I found that for
Mhm.
individuals who have stayed a little bit longer, the gradient of increase is usually less than those who have moved from
Yeah.
company to
Those,
company.
those who are more agile, jumping around, but not to the point where you're jumping every 1 year or whatever. But you're right. The moment you move to a bigger position, or a bigger company,
Or you
it
change
does affect.
roles,
Yeah.
there is a significant increase, maybe, I don't know, anything from 10 to 20%, depending on the market situation, depending on the role, depending on the function, depending on the scope.
Yeah.
So if and like you said though, if an individual moves every 2 3 years, the increments will not follow. I mean, at some point it will do a backward bend. It will
Yeah.
stop because a rolling stone doesn't gather enough moss, right?
Yes.
But if you stayed too long, the long stayers, I've seen individuals who have been in a specific organization within that specific business unit, say for
Yeah.
15, 18, 20 years.
Yeah.
The increments is still there, but you just find if you plot the curve,
Yeah.
it's a very gentle gradient.
It is. It is. So no, if and also sometimes, as I said, no, it's a matter of not feeling, not knowing that you're underpaid, but sometimes you're feeling you're underpaid because you don't have the data, but you're just
Yeah.
feeling underpaid, and sometimes you feel poor, like this poor little model over
No,
here who's pretending to be
I
homeless.
feel poor every time there's a new condo launch, and they are sending all these leaflets, and they're trying to
Yeah.
promote the condo, and you curiously go and ask, and you tell you it's 2,000 plus per square foot. And you go like, holy cow, what?
I,
And then I'll go like, Adrian, we're not doing something, we're not doing anything right, because we can't.
those new condos are those save those new condos for the newlyweds. Okay,
Wait, hang
we
on. And then
are.
there's the car prices as well.
Oh yeah,
Every time I hear that the COE prices have gone up, I'm like, hang on. But then reality check, and I realized that no, hang on, we're doing okay, we're all right.
And
But I still
exactly
feel
to
sorry.
your point, yeah, it's perception, isn't it? So
It
that's
is
why
the
sometimes you feel that. So one of the things we always talk about is it? Do you feel that you're underpaid, or are you underpaid? Because sometimes you can be paid really really well. You can be paid $20,000 a month, $30,000 a month, but if you're doing two people's job or three
you
people's job,
will feel
you
underpaid.
will
Yes.
feel underpaid. And in this case, it's not just underpaid, but underappreciated in the sense of remuneration.
Yeah,
Does it make sense?
and not to forget that different industries have different rates as well. So if you're going out
Yeah,
with your friends and
yeah,
your peers, and you know that your banking friend is just suddenly wearing the brand new watch, he's got this really spiffy bespoke suit that he's always put on, and he carries a branded bag. There's always going to be that feeling of discontent, because why the people in the banking sector seem to make more than the other
my
industries.
yeah. So sometimes you need to figure out what the trigger is as well. Sometimes it's your fault, sometimes it's the company's fault, sometimes they give you more work. So you have to keep your emotions in check and find out what exactly is the trigger and whether or not it's real. But
Yep.
more practically speaking, if you one of the first things you need to find out whether it's a perception or reality is to do market research. What are your thoughts on this? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. If you have enough data points, it helps you to figure out whether or not you are within market rate, or whether you are underpaid, and sometimes you are overpaid. And that's another thing to consider, right? You don't just think about I'm
Yeah.
always underpaid, but sometimes maybe
Yeah.
you're paid more than what you should be getting, and then what else can you do about it? Well, don't give it back, but yes. So
Give it to us.
in
Okay.
essence, what we're saying is collect data points. I'm not a big fan of salary surveys. People tend
Neither
to
am I.
dwell. They tend to dwell,
Yeah.
and they kind of look at the salary survey and go like, "Whoa, I'm a project manager," and then you look at the quantum. A project manager makes anything from 50,000 a year to 300,000 a year.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's such
It's
a huge,
a huge
huge
it's a huge
range.
it's a huge range. And a lot of times the salary surveys are not refined enough for your specification for your industry.
Yes. So definitely ask the headhunters, and ask your mentors. And a very good advice here is to go attend interviews, because if it comes up in conversation with the recruiters or with the HR or with the line manager, then you'll get an inkling, and then you get another data point to plug it into your plot, your chart, and to figure out whether or not you're underpaid, overpaid, you're equitably paid, whether you're fairly
Yeah.
remunerated, and then also very useful for what to
Yeah.
ask for in your next role or your
Yeah.
next promotion.
Yes, correct. And until you have solid data, there's nothing to do about. But once you have the information, what do? Basically, what we always tell people is have an adult conversation with your boss, and it's about, as I said, adult conversation, not like the one in this picture. For those of you who are listening to us and not seeing a picture, it's actually a picture of a guy choking his boss out by his necktie. Okay,
Who
have an
wears
adult
ties
conversation.
anymore?
Yeah.
We don't wear ties anymore. No.
Probably. It's passe. In fact, I don't even know where all my ties went to already post COVID. I think I threw them all away. But nonetheless, have an adult conversation with your boss. I mean, if you go into your boss's office and straight away you're angry and you slam the table and go,
Mm.
I'm underpaid, and you start yelling away, it's not going to go down well, is it?
No, because he'll have an adverse reaction to your reaction, and then everything's just going to spiral downward. The key
Yeah.
word here is adult, and both parties have to be that. And sometimes it's hard when your boss isn't exactly an adult. And sometimes
Mm.
that could be difficult as well. So you can't clap with one hand, but if you can, Adrian, can you just load up the other two bullet points? It's really about sometimes the timing and your approach. My best advice here is to reach out to us, because it's very, very contextual. We need to deep
Yeah.
dive into your dynamics, deep dive into the rest of the team, and get an understanding of the lay of the land, and the state of the union, and figure out the profile of your leader, so that we can help you to figure out what would be the right approach, the best approach, if at all. Should you be planting other flags, and should you be doing anything else? So reach out to us so that we can help you strategize your adult conversation. We have a comment.
I actually know of someone who question.
Is payscale.com reliable to use as a benchmark? I don't know. So far, I've been referring to Indeed mostly, as well as Glassdoor.
I don't know.
I've never
always
used.
been. I could try check it out, but I know I've always been very careful about sites like these.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ethan, I think
Apologies,
we
I'm
have
having
you
some
already.
audio challenges now. Yeah, hold on. Oh no. Okay, testing 1, 2, 3. Am I back on air?
Yes,
Okay,
you're back.
I'm back on air. Val, our voice in the
Hi,
sky
Val.
tells us I'm back. Okay. I think all these websites and data points should be taken with not just a pinch of salt, but a shovel of salt. What do you think?
I'm going to do a quick Google on my phone to look it up.
Yeah.
I feel like a
in
lot
any
of
event,
these websites are looking for data themselves. So sometimes if you go into these websites and you give them your data in order to receive data from them, who benefits? The platform. And what do they do with your information? They're going to collate and do the analytics, and they're going to then be even better in selling that data onto their customers. So I'm very wary.
But one
Very,
of the
very.
I must say is that how do you handle a situation where you feel you're underpaid? I think number one is you get your information. No, is it emotional, or not? If it's, and then you go get your market data. Once you get your market data, you go and talk to your boss. But you need to be able to choose the right time as well. If you have not been performing, I once had an employee, okay, who was not performing on a job at all. Okay, really, really bad, and complained that this employee didn't get a pay raise or even a bonus.
Yeah.
So it's not a good. It's not does not make sense when you want to go ask for a bonus or a pay raise when you're not performing. So make sure you perform first.
That's very important. So if I do agree that if you want to have an adult conversation with your leader, you need to have all of your ducks lined up properly, because there's going to be objection on the other end. This is actually a sales call, isn't it? If you think about
Isn't it? Yeah,
like
isn't
you
it?
going to your customer and say, "Hey, Mr. Customer, can you please pay more for this product that you've been using now for a while now? Pay more this year, because
But there
subscription."
are no new features. There are no
No new
new.
features, there are no new, there's
Same old.
no extra benefit, there's no extra value. I think the word here is value. And then it becomes a tough sell. So your boss is going to go, hang
it's
on.
like correct. And also, sometimes if you see your boss in a bad mood, he just got yelled at by his wife or whatever it is. You don't want to go in, boss. I want a pay raise. It's so funny.
Yeah, and never open a
Choose
sentence
the right
with,
time. Choose
"Hi,
the right
boss."
topic.
Yeah, never ever open up by going like, "Hey, boss, how you doing? By the way, I want a pay raise." That's not gonna. That's a bad opener.
It's a bad opener. It's a bad way to do.
Okay.
And moving on. One other thing that you can. Okay, and I'm gonna pop back into the big screen. Hold on, I'm gonna pop back into the big screen. Yeah. What else can you do if you talk to your boss and he doesn't want to give you an increase?
Well, you have an option. You don't have to swim in this pond. You go swim in other ponds, and gravitate towards where you feel where your value is appreciated. So you're free to choose. It's a free market economy, isn't it? So figure out if you can do better for yourself.
And the big worry is, The big worry is you start looking for jobs, but you can't land either. And then the jobs you land are even lower paying jobs that the offers are coming at you. Then you got to start worrying about what's actually wrong. It may not be the company or your policy. It could be a you problem.
It could be, but so you have to face facts occasionally, figure out whether or not there's something else that's going on. Come talk to us, email us at info@careeragility.org, and we'll help you to dissect, perhaps in deep dive a little bit more to figure out whether or not whether you're being underpaid, whether you're being shortchanged, or whether you could do better
Mhm.
elsewhere.
Or
Let
if
us
you're
help you.
trying to figure out how to do your, or if you're trying to figure out how to do your job search, come talk to us as well. But if you're really feeling underpaid, but you don't want to leave your job, okay, of course everything is good there and the money is pretty decent, just that you're not, or if you're feeling like you're not stimulated enough, we are being a bit cheeky here, but you could start a side hustle,
Yeah, I
earn
mean,
some extra money on the side.
if what you need is an intellectual challenge, there are lots of individuals also who don't necessarily do a side hustle, but they do a lot of pet projects on the side,
Mhm.
that help to over time build their foundation as a subject matter expert. So if you're working, say, in a data analytics role and it's very specific to, say, transportation domain, and you're thinking, gosh, if I keep doing transportation, I'm gonna be typecast, and we don't want to be typecast. So maybe I'll do a pet project on fast moving consumer goods, or I'll do a little pet project on HR analytics, and then we'll see if it gets any interest, and maybe I'll do something else and do some speaking engagements. It
Oh
could be
yeah,
fun. Yeah, I
could be
mean,
fun.
again, sorry, the topic here is how to make more money. So it shouldn't be
Yeah.
about why is Yen asking me to do more work for $0?
No. You got to do. I mean, you'll be surprised now. Even you start at $0, but you get so good at it, people are gonna pay you for it, and then for all you
Correct.
know, you're gonna have a next. That could be the next
Secondary
business idea
career.
of yours. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that
So
relates to the career strategy we're talking about in the long run. What do you really want
yeah.
for yourself?
What exactly
Yeah.
is career strategy? So if you are feeling underpaid, once again, for those of you who just joined us, we were talking today about what you do if you feel you're underpaid. Number one is it a feeling or do you know for a fact? And if it's a feeling, then you got to pin down because sometimes if you feel underpaid, it could be because your boss is giving you way too much work. And you say, I'm
Yes.
doing three people's work for one salary. Honestly, tripling your pay is not gonna relieve your pain in the long run. So you
Or or in that same note, right, Adrian, it's really about the same
Mm.
pay but doing the work you don't like, and it just doesn't go
Yeah,
away. They just make you do more of the work that you
yeah,
don't like because you're good at it. You're never
yeah,
gonna feel content. Never.
yeah,
Because you
yeah.
hate your job. Monday just and then Friday cannot come fast enough. And then the weekend just
Man,
disappears.
it's terrible, right? So if you're feeling that way, reach out to us, come talk to us, and it's we always. We are the experts in these things that we do: salary negotiations, workplace strategies, and if you're looking out for a job, come talk to us as well. Yen's really good at all these things as well. So, great
Yeah, pushing
advice
work at
from all
me.
the experience you've had. Yeah, I'm pushing work at
Pushing
you, see, because
work
I'm
at
feeling
me.
underpaid, so I'm just to give you more work to do.
That's
That's
very
the
funny.
sixth strategy. That's the sixth strategy if you're underpaid. If you're underpaid, overworked, just make your colleagues do your work for you.
Actually, that's a really good point, Adrian. And I want to say this to all our listeners. If you're feeling underpaid, I think quiet quitting is not the way to go. I think it's the start to a slippery slope that's going to end up hurting you more than helping. Because the moment you quiet quit, you stop learning, you stop growing, you stop progressing. I mean, if you're putting things on a kind of a hover pattern so that you can go explore other things, that's okay. So don't quiet quit. It's not a healthy attitude to have. But
Mm.
that's just my opinion. I shall
Yeah,
stop nagging.
I actually have a very interesting from Eric. Hi, Eric. Good morning.
Good
I
morning,
recently
Eric.
helped a f- I recently helped a friend to be a host for their wedding. Interestingly, her friends have reached out and asked if I could host weddings for a fee. So Eric is a new wedding host.
Wow,
It's a
nice.
nice side gig on
This
weekends.
is a
No conflict of
really good,
interest.
yeah, weekend hustle. Hi, Eric.
Fun
This
to
is this is
yeah.
your starting point to your celebrity status, man.
Yeah, and then you know what you can do? You go figure out how to be a justice of the peace. Then you can actually get them to sign
Marry me.
the marriage cert, and then you can, if then the ang pao's at least $500, not bad.
I have a friend who's doing that. He was an ex-colleague from a long time ago, and recently found out that he was justice of the peace. He's just going around marrying people on the weekends, in
How
addition
do
to
you
his
get?
day job.
I'm
I have
I'm
no
gonna
idea.
Google
But
now. How to
I think
become justice of the peace?
it's a
Hey, five
happy
hundred dollar.
it's a happy job. It's
Yeah,
a happy job. It's way better
happy job.
than yeah.
And you do nothing, you're just basically sitting down there telling, okay, do you take this person? Do you take this person? Here, sign, okay, have a kiss, and that's it.
You need to have a voice, and then you need to have a presence, and then you just read the script. And I think the script stays pretty much the same the whole time.
So Eric, upskill yourself. Okay, go get a Justice of the Peace certification so you can start collecting ang paos over and above the MCing.
That's funny. Anyway.
It's funny. Yeah,
All right. So
if you
we've
are
come to
facing
the
any
9
career
o'clock hour.
challenges or situations, come reach out to us.
Yes. Please reach out to us if you need any help. Email us at info@careeragility.org, and we'll try our best to help you.
Yeah, and in the meantime, have a great weekend ahead. And remember, don't work too hard. It's a Friday. Okay, take it easy. And
I'm taking the
have a
rest
great
of the
one,
day
guys. Take
off.
care.
Bye.
Lucky you. Bye.